It's about to drink that. It's about to drink that candle. I have done before. I mean, not saying I invented it. That's a common thing. It's an accident that could happen to anybody. And you get that wax in the throat. It's just a certain tone. Again, I didn't invent it, but I'd like to say I popularised it. It was definitely one of the better exponents of that wee thing. Yeah, I was just watching some stuff, wasn't I? Ariel, Helwani, MMA boxing. I always end up seeing to watch that. I'm not a big MMA guy. I don't watch a lot of MMA, but obviously there's certain you need that grind game, don't you? Like you gotta bring that into your game. I say I'm already handy with the knees and with the elbows and the kicks and stuff. Like I can do a bit that way, but I did some jiu-jitsu when I was a kid. I cried the first time I went, so I had to leave. I had to run out. And I started going drunk. On a Saturday morning. I would get drunk and I go to. That's a little sad if you think about it, at that age. Well, it was fun. Just took the edge off, And I think sort of like that today, Just have a wee cup of tea and of course, sometimes you find yourself in these social situations that can be a little trying, and you just have to do what you can, anxiety and all of that. The struggle is real for almost everybody, really, isn't it? So it's like it can be difficult. It's a bit easier if you're a bit of a dosser, like, and you can afford to have a few beers and stuff. Obviously, as sort of athletes have got to take things a bit more serious. I done a bit of street fighting the other night, obviously, I fought off a whole gang of hoods, single-handedly. I believe there's footage of it out there somewhere, so that's probably on TikTok or something. So it's like, when you're the real deal, you can't really be phased. So, or at least to be realistic, you might be phased, but it's a quick turnaround. You don't have to go home with your anxiety or your existential fucking funk. Sleep on it for a little bit, do process the stuff, and you come back stronger. True heart of a champion. And there's always the danger that you become smug. But that can be kind of entertaining too, can't it? A few of my favourite fighters are definitely smug, But I like that. I think I like that rather than someone who sort of lurks pretending to be a nice person and then fires in their little digs. It's kind of cowardly, isn't it? A little bit cowardly. That I'd rather have someone who's up front, They can still fire in little digs too. They can play that game. But it's just bravery, isn't it? I was doing thing. I was watching a couple of low-level guys, and one of them was talking about mediocrity. It was, that was one of his pet hates, was mediocrity, and he sort of couldn't deal with it. I think he was somewhat unaware, like, of I mean, these social media guys, like, I mentioned collaboration before, like, it's too much to get into. You know, I actually watched a few of these videos back. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, man, this is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? It's almost like a little game show or something. It's like constantly guessing, trying to remember all these boxers' names and information and stuff. And it's like, so how do people do this? Do they really do their research and stuff? Do they script their stuff before they come on? You know, and you know, you want to equate it to the fight game. You gotta have a game plan and stuff like that. And of course, all the fighters say, "Oh, I don't watch footage. I don't watch any footage of any of my opponents. I don't do that. My coach does all that there. Or he just says a few words to me before I go in, and that's I do the rest. I take it from there. Well, I think in boxing, if I was to really step up, I could be. Do you ever see the likes of like you get a cut man or you get a cheap second, and he wears a wee funny hat, like a wee flat cap, and he might have a couple of badges, or he wears like a wee leather jacket or something like that. I think I could be one of those guys, like. On some of these so-called, elite pundits, their knowledge is a bit lacking. Now, they might be able to deliver it very well. They might be, they talk like a man, of course, and this is all boxing, in there. We're all men in boxing, aren't we? This is a bit fucking daft. You gotta be a big man, don't you? Yeah, because if you act if you whisper or if you speak in a soft voice, then suddenly you're a pussy all of a sudden. Yeah, and if you're a woman, well, even then you gotta fucking. I mean, look at Clarissa Shields. This is a man's world. This is a man's world. So, like I say, these things get your back up sometimes, but sometimes that can be the fuel to the fire, to the flames, and then you're just scorching, and you're on a hot streak. I think sometimes people come out with these little comments, mediocrity, and, oh, such and such is being celebrated, and I'm jealous. Why am I not being celebrated? Yeah, they see the competition, maybe not getting as much exposure, but they can see something there. They go, oh, this person's clever. This person has a few wee theories. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I use that big word? And I think even another thing is a lot of these low-level guys, because I would watch a lot of the low-level, Fannin International and, Showbiz, the adult, and all these sorts of guys, and like even lower level than that, like similar level to what I'm kind of on, a lot of these guys are quite good, but obviously it's sort of low budget, it's DIY, it can get a bit fucking daft. But these pros that have transitioned from the pro game into becoming pundits, well, they've been in boxing their whole lives. They've been boxing since they were kids. They've been doing interviews. They've been schooled in that for years and years and years. Yeah, and they've got their team around them, and they've got somebody there to poke them and say, you're saying something stupid, or you're talking, you're starting to sound a bit feminine. Bounce it up there, man, bounce it up. Act like a fucking man, quickly. And then he goes home to his wife and he does the dishes and the wife's screaming at him, and no, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Oh, yeah, sorry, love, sorry. So it's just hypocrisy again, and I'm just all about reality, the real. And relationships are difficult. Just a bit of life advice coming here, in case you didn't notice. Relationships are difficult, and it's a difficult thing for a man, and they're with their woman, and suddenly their friends on the scene as well, and the man doesn't want to appear to be ineffectual. At the same time, he doesn't want to appear to be overbearing. It's a fucking minefield. And I have a strong heart for every man who's been in that situation. It's not easy. Women are really stronger than men, if we're being fucking honest here. Yeah, women are the ones who have the emotional and the mental strength, which is just how it is, you know. And if things get bad and there's arguments and there's rows and stuff like this, oftentimes the man will be the one who comes out painted as the villain. But we all know is that's not the way things go, man. You know, it takes two to tango. The women know that, we know that too. Now, it's not a competition, it's not exactly boys versus the girls, or maybe it is, but you gotta look after your own, and men understand men. So we have to be cognizant of the different things that can go on and realise, oh wait, this isn't just me. Every man deals with this, yeah? And we need to support each other in this area and see to it that we are represented and see that we're, painted a certain way. Because you don't want to be running around like a little bitch your whole life, do you? Doing what you're told and doing the right thing and trying to keep this one happy and keep that one happy. That's not good. That's not good, yeah? Whilst the rumour mill might be working away and you're going to your bed at night with fears thinking, oh my God, am I being painted this way? Am I being painted? Fuck that, man. If you just keep living your life, a good, genuine life, doing the best you can, you mightn't always get it right, but your intentions are good. And you get up, you go to your job, whatever it is you do, you like to think you have a good influence on the next man, the guy that you're working along with, At least the intentions are good, Then that'll shine through, and people will see that. And whilst you mightn't always hear back, every now and then you'll get that reassurance that, yeah, I'm doing right here. And I think people know I'm not a bad-eyed fucker, So, again, I'm sort of speaking on behalf of some of these pundits, some of these guys. I don't know who they think they are, man. They get a few world titles under their belt. Suddenly think they can tell the rest of us how things are, So, I'm not really a world title holder officially. I'm more just an excellent guy who can communicate to people from all walks of life, really. I just give them a job in the world service, something like that. But these guys, you gotta excuse them too, because you look at their careers and you go, he gave us a few good nights. We got a few good nights out of that guy. He was alright. He was alright. So, like I say, it's boys for boys and girls for girls, isn't it? And sometimes you have to come in and you have to back yourself. And it's nice when you can be backed by somebody else too. You back your mate, hopefully his mate will back you and such and such. It's like 300, we're fucking warriors, man. We're fucking warriors in his life. You have to stand up and be counted, don't you? So, anyway, I was watching Eddie Hearn's fucking talking about such and such. Subriel Matias. Here we go. Fingers on your buzzers, right? So Subriel Matias, Matchroom signed him, light welterweight. Uh, Quite a bit of talk about him because he's been knocking everybody out. He's an exciting fighter to watch. He's a little bit sloppy in his offense. Likes to fight in the pocket. He's continuously in the pocket, and everybody that he fights seems to somehow, silently agree that this is how this fight's gonna go. And it's quite good to see because it's like some of the fights that you would have seen in the 80s and stuff before. It got to be so much clinching, and clinching was allowed by the refs and stuff like that. There was somewhere along the line there was a bit of a turning point with that, wasn't there? So he gets stuck right in there. He's throwing shots. He's placing them everywhere. He's hitting the body, he's hitting the arms, and he's mixing it up. He's hitting the head. They're like arm shots, long. He can throw them from mid-range. He can get right up close. And he just doesn't fucking stop. And so this one, that one, tip, tap. And that guy's just going, for fuck's sake, does this guy ever stop? And next thing is, catch some other fucking hard one down in the gut, and then another one up here. Oh, Jesus Christ, this ain't good. Oh, wait, another couple of taps. Oh, wait, I'm getting this false sense of security here. This is all right. So I think his last 4 opponents have all been undefeated. The last guy he fought, but I don't know his name, no disrespect. Russian fella, as far as I know. I think he was managed by the same guy who manages a lot of the Ukrainian guys and the Russian guys. He was a really, really, really good fighter, and it was, talk about a test, like this was a real fucking good test that he come through. Like, I think the guy was retired by his corner in the later rounds, but he was right with him all the way. And this guy was a bit more placing his shots a bit more better, and they were harder. And it was like, yeah, this guy's a bit tidier than Matias, but Matias is a strange guy, man. He's got that backstory again. We spoke about Jose Benavidez. Matias, he was shot, I think, when he was 20. He went to jail for a while. Like I say, this is a typical thing with boxers and combat fighters. Often this seems to be a thing. There might be a relation there too. When you go to jail and stuff, you become institutionalized to a degree. There's a certain amount of discipline and stuff involved, and maybe that plays into the boxing lifestyle. People come away from that, they want to retain that disciplined thing, whether it's something that they can't help or whether it's something that they find beneficial and they know that it keeps them right. And something like boxing just slots in well with that. And obviously, a few of us bad boys, we like a fight, and we maybe have a lot of aggression and anger issues and stuff like that. If you're banging a punch bag for an hour or so every day, a heavy bag, hitting the pads, a little bit of sparring here and there if you're lucky, you're getting to, in a productive manner, you're ridding yourself of that anger. He killed a guy in the ring as well. This was a good while ago, which obviously is very sad, but like I say, interesting story with this dude. And he can really fight now. His name's been in Teofimo's mouth. Teofimo Lopez has come out and said, oh, this guy is nothing, he's the softest of all the champions. I don't see Teofimo necessarily volunteering to fight the guy. And it's easy to see why not. Yes, because he's a great fighter, but two, he's not a marquee name. There's more value in him fighting Jermaine Ortiz, who's less of a threat. because he's already established. He's fought Lomachenko. He's come through the American system. He's promoted better. He's a good-looking fella. You know, he's got all that. He wants a Haney. He wants a Prograis. He wants a Ramirez. He wants a name. Matias, before he deserves a marquee fight, needs to fight a marquee name that's on his way out, that's on his way down. They're going to give him a lot of money. They're going to say, look, Ramirez, you're another good shot against this guy. We're going to recompense you very well. Okay? And once he can get a couple of names like that, then maybe he's up there where he can take on the likes of a Lopez. You know, I don't know if Haney would want any part of him either. Like, it's like back in the days when Frampton was at Super Bantam and Rigondeaux was there, you know. The guy was a phenomenal fighter. Now, Rigondeaux, or Frampton, of course, as any fighter, would back himself against anybody. But Rigondeaux was a dangerous guy. And it's not even that he was dangerous. Obviously, Cuban defector, the Cuban guys are amazingly skilled, and this guy's a generational talent. Once in a generation fighter. As if you needed that explained to you. And he's really hard to look good against. I think the guy who stepped up eventually to fight him was Donaire, and it was a good fight it was a good win for Rigondeaux. Like I say, Donaire couldn't look good against him, and Donaire's an amazing fighter, like a legendary fighter. Donaire would be a Hall of Famer. Hopefully Frank would be a Hall of Famer too. I'd like to think Frank would make it into the Hall of Fame with everything that he done, you know, and coming from Ireland, like you know what I mean. We don't really have the same, you know, it's hard to do what Frampton done coming from a place like Belfast, put it that way. So I was watching a fight last night. One of these old fights, you know, pop up on your YouTube. It was Alex Lewis v some guy, Australian fella maybe. I'm not sure. And you know, the guy was fucking 5'0" nothing. Alex Lewis was towering above him like it was nuts. But Brian Wigan was doing a bit of punditry. It wouldn't have been too many years after McGuigan had retired, I suppose. And he was looking well, the fucking square jaw on him, you know, the fucking the hair, the whole bit. And I remember him being described, this was in an article on some fucking random website one time. And he says McGuigan is the most lucid boxing commentator on the sport. McGuigan, he's a manly guy, like I say, he's got that square jaw. But when he was doing his punditry, more so in his fighting years, he sort of would have spoke like this, and he would have spoken a little whisper and do, you know. And Mr. Eastwood says this, and Mr. Eastwood says that. And I was watching a video of me, and I was like, fucking hell, boy, I don't look so good. I don't have the square jaw for starters. And for seconders, I'm whispering on the level of a fucking Barry McGuigan, like, and maybe it's an Irish thing, you know. The media always wants to get you into a certain mould, don't they? Oh, we'll make him like Daniel O'Donnell. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be a great way to sell this guy? And yeah, it's bullshit, man. It's bullshit. Is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, Subriel Matias. Hopefully we'll get to see him fight somebody with a good name. Build them up to those big fights, and Martrim could get their value there, and we can see some great fights with him. like I say, a Ramirez, a Prograis, an Ortiz. Yeah, somebody needs to be paid so this motherfucker can get a name. And see what how Teofimo fucking Lopez's fortunes go. He might be in bad need of a fight like this. He might need it at some point, and he'll have no fucking choice but to fight Matias. Don't know if Matias is necessarily a big talker. I mean, it could be like Teofimo talking to a fucking brick wall. But that might work. That might work. You know, he's getting no reaction there. Like, what's he gonna fucking do? How can you play off that? But,